This slide introduces ISO/IEC 27001, the international standard for establishing, implementing, maintaining, and continually improving an information security management system, ISMS. ISO 27001 focuses on protecting three key aspects of information: confidentiality, integrity, and availability, CIA. It provides a structured framework to identify information security risks, implement appropriate controls, and ensure data protection across the organization. The standard is applicable to organizations of all sizes and industries, especially those handling sensitive data such as IT companies, BPOs, financial institutions, healthcare, and consulting firms. In this session, we will understand what ISO 27001 is and explore its key elements, including risk assessment, Annexa controls, leadership commitment, documentation requirements, and continuous improvement. This slide explains what ISO/IEC 27001 is and its key elements. ISO/IEC 27001 is an international standard for establishing and maintaining an information security management system, ISMS. It provides a structured framework to protect critical information assets such as confidential data, customer information, financial records, intellectual property, and IT systems. The objective is to systematically identify information security risks and implement appropriate controls to mitigate them. The full form of ISO 27001 is International Standard for Information Security Management, and the current version in use is ISO/IEC 27001:2022. In simple terms, ISO 27001 helps organizations protect data through a risk-based and continuously improving security framework. This slide explains what information security means. Information security is about protecting information from unauthorized access, misuse, alteration, or loss. It ensures that sensitive data remains safe, reliable, and available to the right people at the right time. ISO 27001 is built on the CIA triad, which includes confidentiality: information should be accessible only to authorized individuals. Integrity: information must remain accurate, complete, and protected from unauthorized changes. Availability: information should be accessible whenever it is required for business operations. These three principles form the foundation of any effective information security management system, ISMS. This slide explains two important concepts: ISMS and why organizations implement ISO 27001. An information security management system, ISMS, is a structured framework of policies, procedures, processes, and controls designed to identify, manage, and reduce information security risks. It ensures that security is managed systematically rather than in an ad hoc manner. Organizations implement ISO 27001 to protect sensitive information, prevent cyber threats and data breaches, comply with legal and regulatory requirements, and strengthen customer trust. It also helps improve risk management practices and ensures business continuity in case of security incidents. In short, ISO 27001 enables organizations to build a secure, resilient, and trustworthy information environment. This slide explains one of the key elements of ISO 27001, the Information Security Policy. The Information Security Policy defines the organization's overall commitment to protecting its information assets. It sets the direction for how information security will be managed across the organization. Key deliverables include a documented information security policy and clearly defined security objectives aligned with business goals. For example, a data processing company may state in its policy that client data must remain confidential, employees must follow strict password and access control rules, and any data sharing must be properly authorized. In simple terms, the information security policy acts as the foundation of the entire ISMS framework. This slide explains another critical element of ISO 27001, risk assessment and risk management. The main purpose is to identify, analyze, evaluate, and control information security risks in a structured and systematic manner. Key activities include identifying information assets, determining potential threats and vulnerabilities, assessing the impact and likelihood of risks, and implementing appropriate risk treatment controls. Important deliverables are a risk register, a defined risk assessment methodology, and a documented risk treatment plan. In simple terms, ISO 27001 follows a risk-based approach: understand what can go wrong, evaluate the severity, and apply suitable controls to reduce risk to an acceptable level. This slide provides a practical example of risk assessment and risk management under ISO 27001. Here, a survey company identifies key information security risks and links them with appropriate controls. For example, unauthorized system access is controlled through strong access control policies. Data loss is mitigated using proper backup systems. Malware attacks are addressed through antivirus software and firewalls. This demonstrates the risk-based approach of ISO 27001. First identify risks, then implement suitable technical and administrative controls to reduce them to an acceptable level. In simple terms, every identified risk must have a defined and documented control to protect organizational information assets.
In this slide, we are discussing one of the most important deliverables of ISO 27001, the Statement of Applicability, or SOA. The SOA lists all Annex A controls and clearly specifies which controls are applicable to the organization and which are excluded. It also provides proper justification for inclusion or exclusion based on risk assessment and business context. This document acts as a bridge between risk assessment and control implementation. For example, if an organization does not manage physical data centers, certain physical security controls may justifiably be excluded. The final deliverable is a formal SOA document, which is mandatory for ISO 27001 certification and is reviewed during audits. This slide explains the security controls under ISO 27001:2022, specifically the 93 Annex A controls grouped into 4 major themes. First, organizational controls focus on governance aspects such as security policies, supplier security, and incident management. These ensure structured management of information security at the organizational level. Second, people controls address human-related risks. This includes employee awareness training, background verification, and clearly defined security responsibilities. Third, physical controls protect physical assets. Examples include controlled access to offices and server rooms, CCTV monitoring, and visitor management. Finally, technological controls deal with IT security measures such as password protection, encryption, network security, and backup systems. Together, these 4 categories provide a comprehensive and layered approach to managing information security risks.
This slide covers asset management under ISO 27001. The main purpose of asset management is to identify all information assets within the organization and ensure they are properly protected. You cannot secure what you have not identified, so maintaining visibility of assets is critical. The key deliverables include an asset register, which lists all information assets, and an asset classification system, which defines how assets are categorized based on sensitivity. For example, in an IT company, assets may include customer databases, software applications, servers, and employee laptops. These assets are typically classified as confidential, internal, or public. Classification helps determine the level of security controls required for each asset and ensures appropriate protection based on risk. This slide explains access control as a key element of ISO 27001. The main purpose of access control is to ensure that only authorized users can access specific information and systems. This follows the principle of need to know and least privilege. The key deliverables include an access control policy, a user access matrix that defines who has access to what, and login monitoring records to track and review user activity. For example, in a survey programming organization, employees should only be able to access the client projects assigned to them, not all company data. Proper access control reduces the risk of data leakage, unauthorized access, and internal misuse of information. This slide explains incident management under ISO 27001. The purpose of incident management is to ensure that security incidents are identified, reported, managed, and resolved in a timely and structured manner. The objective is to minimize damage and restore normal operations quickly. Key deliverables include an incident response procedure, incident reporting forms, and incident investigation records. These documents ensure that every incident is properly documented and analyzed. For example, if a ransomware attack occurs, the IT team should immediately isolate the infected system, initiate backup restoration, and report the incident to management. Proper investigation is then conducted to identify root cause and prevent recurrence. A strong incident management process strengthens organizational resilience and demonstrates control during audits. This slide explains business continuity and disaster recovery under ISO 27001. The main purpose is to ensure that critical business operations continue even during disruptions such as cyber attacks, system failures, natural disasters, or other unexpected events. The key deliverables include a business continuity plan, BCP, which outlines how business processes will continue during disruptions, a disaster recovery plan, DRP, which focuses specifically on IT system recovery, and backup and restoration testing records to ensure recovery plans actually work. For example, a survey company may maintain off-site backups of survey data so that if the main system fails, data can be restored quickly with minimal downtime. A well-implemented BCP and DRP protect organizational reputation, reduce financial losses, and build stakeholder confidence. This slide explains training and awareness under ISO 27001. The main purpose is to ensure that employees understand their information security responsibilities. Even the strongest technical controls can fail if people are not aware of security risks. Key deliverables include security awareness training records and competency evaluations. Organizations must demonstrate that employees are trained and capable of handling information securely. For example, employees should be trained on how to detect phishing emails, follow strong password practices, and comply with data confidentiality rules. Regular training reduces human error, strengthens security culture, and is a critical requirement during ISO 27001 audits. This slide explains monitoring and continuous improvement under ISO 27001. The purpose here is to regularly evaluate the effectiveness of the Information Security Management System, or ISMS. ISO 27001 is not a one-time implementation, it requires ongoing monitoring and improvement. Key activities include conducting internal audits, performing management reviews, monitoring security performance metrics, and implementing corrective actions where gaps are identified. The main deliverables are audit reports, management review records, and documented improvement plans. This ensures that the ISMS remains aligned with business objectives, adapts to emerging threats, and continuously strengthens the organization's information security posture. This slide presents a real-life case study of a survey programming and market research company before ISO 27001 implementation. Initially, the organization faced several issues. Clients were concerned about data security, there was weak access control, no structured incident response process, and a high risk of data leakage. As part of implementation, the first step was risk assessment. During this stage, key risks were identified, including unauthorized data access, data loss due to system failure, and malware threats. This structured risk identification helped the company prioritize controls and build a strong ISMS framework aligned with ISO 27001 requirements. It clearly demonstrates how ISO 27001 moves an organization from reactive security to a systematic, risk-based approach. This slide continues the real-life implementation example and explains the actions taken. In Step 2, security controls were implemented. The company introduced role-based access control, deployed antivirus and firewall systems, enforced a strong password policy, and implemented multi-level data backup. These measures reduced technical and operational risks. In Step 3, employee training was conducted. Staff were trained on client data confidentiality, cybersecurity awareness, and secure file sharing practices to address human-related vulnerabilities. In Step 4, a formal incident response system was established. Procedures were created for reporting cyber incidents, investigating root causes, and preventing recurrence. Together, These steps transformed the organization's security posture from unstructured and reactive to controlled and risk-based in line with ISO 27001 requirements. This slide explains Step 5, Business Continuity Planning in the real-life example. The organization developed a backup data center and conducted regular disaster recovery testing to ensure system resilience during disruptions. As a result, there was a major reduction in security incidents, showing strong improvement in data protection. Customer trust increased significantly because clients gained confidence in the company's ability to safeguard sensitive information. From a compliance perspective, the company was able to meet global client security requirements. Ultimately, this strengthened security posture supported business growth and helped attract international projects. This demonstrates how ISO 27001 not only improves security but also drives credibility and business expansion. This slide highlights the key benefits of ISO 27001 for organizations. First, it provides a strong and structured information security framework, ensuring risks are managed systematically. Second, it significantly reduces cybersecurity risks by implementing risk-based controls across people, processes, and technology. Third, it improves customer confidence. Clients feel more secure working with an organization that follows internationally recognized security standards. It also supports legal and regulatory compliance by aligning with global data protection and security requirements. Additionally, it strengthens business continuity by ensuring preparedness for disruptions. Finally, ISO 27001 gives a competitive advantage, especially when bidding for global or security-sensitive projects. This slide concludes the discussion on ISO 27001. ISO 27001 provides a structured and systematic framework for managing information security risks. It ensures that organizations identify risks, implement appropriate controls, and continuously monitor and improve their security posture. By protecting sensitive information, ISO 27001 strengthens customer trust and enhances the organization's reputation. It also supports legal and regulatory compliance and ensures business continuity during disruptions. In today's digital and data-driven environment, ISO 27001 is not just a certification, it is a strategic necessity for organizations that handle confidential or sensitive information.